Don't be fooled by the name of the map. Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 25 with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on Alone in the World 2K25 Castaway. Now, don't touch that dial. I did a map tour on this map, kind of, on FS22. This is not the same map. Not even close to being the same map. This is what I'm talking about when I say about maps getting ported over. It would be very easy to look into the mod hub today, see this and go, oh yeah, that was on 22. Wasn't keen on that map. This is not the same map. It's incredible what's been done to it. What I like about this as well, if you've got a bit of, you know, if your brain starts fizzing when maps come out and you start thinking of ideas for storylines, and this has got something you'll see later. I'll explain as we go around. It's very, very nice indeed. Anyway, 87.06 megabytes download by Grimlock RRC. There are 7 required mods which download automatically. Over and above that, there's nothing in build mode other than the required mods. There are no custom crops. Contracts are kind of available in that there's dead wood, wood transport. There probably might be some rock removal. Haven't seen one yet, but there aren't any fields per se. Slot count on all 3 game modes is 941. I removed all of the start equipment and all of the start farm, and I removed the biogas plant and the carpentry, which we'll see in a minute, and I got the slot count down to 723. So as far as again, depending on what kind of storyline you want to go for, there's a lot of scope. And this map is beautiful. It's Lucas Island, but better in a way. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about. Equipment and machinery. If we go into this mode here, here's our map. So this is what the map looks like. We're on an island. Now, obviously, the castaway concept of this, because of where we're starting at a harbour. We come off the jetty and there's buildings and there's stuff. So there's that thing of, yeah, but there are people living here. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But you can flip that around a little bit if you wanted to. As far as prices and stuff go, on New Farmer we start with 1 and 2. Now, plot 1, farm with the main farm on, is 0. So on Farm Manager and start from scratch, it costs nothing to buy that anyway. The plots themselves, plot 4, 7,000, 26 grand. This has got the biogas plant in it, we'll buy that, 38,421. Let's purchase that. We've got 73. 49. The prices of the plots are not expensive at all. If you want to do forestry, there's forestry. If you don't want to do forestry, we've got a lot of open areas where you can make your own fields, create your own fields, create your own farms, put in your own productions, do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. It's an island for you to just call it your own. Literally, you can call it your own name. It's your own island. Go for it. What was I going to show you? Oh yeah. Come out of there and we go to here and come down to this. This is curious, right? So look at the age of the vehicles. I worked that out. 35,000 months is 2,917 years. And then we've got some there that are 60,000, 40,000, 65, 100,000 months. I'm not sure how, but they are, and they're worth peanuts. I mean, absolute peanuts. If we go down to the Massey Ferguson Harvester, 3,135 that's worth. So yeah, you can sell the stuff if you want to, or remove it. It's entirely up to you. But let's get cracking around the map. And again, that's that kind of. I'm looking already, and it's like it seems crisper and cleaner and more gritty. The previous version, not that it was cartoony. I don't know. This has just got a very, very different vibe to it. And then, like I say, what I'm kind of, I don't know because I haven't really gone too far with this, but when the expansion comes out, Highlands fishing expansion, and we've got the rod and reel fishing and that kind of stuff, and we've got the and they've said that that's the rod and reel and it will be compatible on other maps. We don't know if that will be compatible on modded maps. And also the Highland fisheries side of things, like a map like this, will we be able to put a fishery out on the water here because we've got water? Will we be able to just fish off the jetty here or off the beach, or you know, on a modded map? That would be amazing, because what I was thinking when my mind started fizzing earlier, the potential for what that could do, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, we're coming through the gate just here off the dock, and also boats. The potential for boats moving forward, that can really change stuff. Anyway, sell point here, this is the terminal sell point just here. Around the back here we have got warehouse here for purchasing of palleted items and the warehouse sell point. If we come across the way out of here, I mean, you could, you know, it could just be that the whole settlement's been abandoned and has been abandoned for decades, you know. Go with any storyline you want, it's up to you. We've got a gas station fuel point just here, animal dealer point just here, vehicle shop and workshop just here. You know what I didn't do? I didn't check to see if this was the reset point. But what we can do, and we can use the pickup. Yeah, we'll use the pickup. What we can do is we can check that right now, because at the main farm here on the start farm, because all the equipment and machinery is here on all 3 game modes, there's our pickup. That's in a little barn to the side. So what we can do is reset that. I'm assuming, there we go, it'll reset back here. This is the reset point for the map as well. I mean, it's dinged up. Look at this. This has seen some work. It's seen some work over the years. So, you know, you can't buy this plot. I guess that's possibly the only downside to this. It's a tiny thing, but I was just thinking, as for putting in extra sell points or productions or decorative items or whatever, but you can't buy this specific plot, but that's okay. That's fine. We head up out of here. Just stop there. So, biogas plant pot, plant plot, which we purchased here, which cost us nothing. I mean, not nothing, you know what I mean? 38,421, and you get all that land with it as well, including the biogas plant. All this can be removed. The fencing, the silage clamps, the biogas plant itself. So if you want to put a different biogas plant on, or you want to put something else here, if you don't do a lot of biogas work, silage stuff, that kind of thing, and you want to put something else on here, go for it. It's entirely up to you. So it's fairly standard with regard to what goes in and what comes out. Nice. Just across the way there is the carpentry, and if we go into this menu and go to, hang on, available, there's our carpentry. Furniture from planks, long planks, and furniture from wood at the carpentry, if we wanted to purchase that, which is just next door there. There's plenty, like I said, there's plenty of forestry to do, but if forestry's not your thing, not an issue. I honestly can't believe this is named the same thing. It's not the same map. not by a long shot. Biomass heating plant, sell point is just there. And now we head away from the dock area, inland a little bit. We've got a little inlet just there, with a bridge over the river, which we're going to come to in just a moment. I'll show you. Let me show you stuff. Look, let's go airborne. This is what I mean about it being really beautiful. The terrain's rugged, but it's, look at this. Look, the water sweeping off the top, coming down. All these, look, these waterfalls, and I'm going to use the word cascading because it looks incredible. It really does. And you've got little trackways that lead up to some of these. You've got flat areas here, so if you wanted to put little animal pastures up there, and again, whatever you wanted to do. If we go across the map, it doesn't stop there. There's little gullies, there's all sorts of stuff, and just the potential for storylines and gameplay and stuff. Look, same up here as well. Look, top bit, and it all flowing down the waterfalls down into here. Little pools down to the bottom. And that's... Look. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Very, very cool. So, we're going to take the next turning on the right and head out to the farm. This uses a lot of MA7 Studio stuff, a lot of the Ivoy things. I remember doing the mod review on the Ivoy bits. I really like these buildings. I think I set out a whole farm, didn't I, when I did the map tour, the mod review of this. And it's really nice stuff. So, we turn just here, we've got a piggery. So the piggery just here will hold 128 pigs. And it's really integrated nicely into the landscape. But again, all of this can be removed. If you remove all of the main farm, it will look like this. So like I say, if you want to make it a little bit more kind of Castaway-esque, in that there's nothing, and then maybe, you know, you find the derelict harbour, you might get the old radio mast up on the hill going, or you build a radio mast, I don't know. you know, and then you can start getting, like I did on Lucas Island, you can start getting shipping coming, and you can start getting stuff delivered to the main harbour area. There's all sorts of stuff you could do with it. Chickens, just over here, 31 of in this building. These buildings are gorgeous, but that's not a mod review of these. These are just part of the map. These are required mods. So 31 chickens in here. If we come just around the corner, I'm going to just pull this over just here. There we go. So, sleep and wardrobe trigger at the main farmhouse just there. Across the way, we've got a workshop trigger inside the building here. Just there. And that allows for stuff along here as well. And look at it. It's all worn, it's all weathered, it's all a little bit damaged. Brilliant. It adds so much story, so much, you know, just all that extra to it. A fair bit of equipment and machinery, to be fair. But again, don't have to start if you don't want to, you can always remove it. Now, this shed is an interesting one. Again, part of the Ivoy pack, because we have got the option here to do this. Build or demolish the flat storage silo. Now, it's not a silage clamp, but if I do that, you have to be careful because we're right by the harvester. I mean, we're literally just scraping the side of it. You get these. For storage of whatever you want to put in here. Now, so I walk in there, like I say, it's not a silage clamp, but if you wanted to have these, there's one here and there's one on the other side, I think, as well. There's a trigger just there. If you want to do that, put that away. If we come around the corner here, we've got a water point just there. Medium top greenhouse just there. And then all of this complex here, this is all a silo, standard crop type, and it's 500,000 litre silo just here at the farm. There you go, that's your start farm, and it's the only farm on the map. So again, let's say, do with it what you will. If we come up the hill from here to the bit of farmland that we own, oh, actually we'll check the contracts again in a second. We've got just here bale and pallet storage, 850 items up here on the hill. So let's just double check contracts again. Deadwood wood transport, yeah, I haven't seen a rock crushing one pop up. I'm not saying there won't be, but again, if we go back to here, because we've only got these couple of fields and we own those on New Farmer, on Farm Management Start from Scratch, you don't own them, but obviously you can buy those plots of land. This plot of land with this field on is free, but look at all this, the space and scope here for creating your own fields, for ploughing them out once you've built the land, and out across here. There's not too many trees in the way on any of these either, or for animal pastures or whatever it might be. Again with this, look. It's a stonker of a map. There are 25 collectibles. I did come across one, which I'll probably show you later on, spoiler alert, right at the very end. And it's the orbs, like the glowing orbs from Hutan Pansai. So they're knocking about. Now what we're going to do is come back across the water and go around this mountain top that we're by. Because around the other side is a debris crusher. And if we come back to our map, you'll see on New Farm we do start with that plot as well. So this and this. And that's got a debris crusher. Now, again, the debris crushers of old were the ones where you just took your stones and got paid for them. There are debris crushers that will make lime out of those if on modded ones. On FS25 there are two different types. You've got a debris crusher that does that, you can take it as a sell point, or the debris crusher which is basically a rock depot, which is like the dredging boat on Riverbend Springs kind of thing. So when you place it, it will continually produce rock for you to go and collect, and that's what that is. So we're going to go out to, hang on, which way was it? This way. And I think sometimes, not that it's prohibitive, but sometimes on maps like this, when it's a kind of create your own, go for it type thing, even the big open spaces like this aren't as open as you would like. Sometimes they have a lot of trees on them, not a huge amount, but for a lot of people it's like, you know what, why am I going to bother? I can't be bothered spending the time using a mulcher to remove all those trees. I'll just play on a different map. So this one has got a lot more scope to do a bit of everything, I think. And again, like I say, the storyline potential, if that's your thing, you know. I know a lot of people, whilst you may not have a channel, you may not be making content, you may not be making let's plays, but I know a lot of people do play with a storyline in their head. They'll be trying to achieve something, you know, whatever it might be. So our debris crusher facility is just here. Actually, you know what I didn't check was how much is that plot? 14. Oh, that's 0 as well. So yeah, you can get the debris crusher for nothing anyway. And like I say, you've got this facility here, and that will continue to bring up stones. So if you need stones for lime, or and there's all sorts of productions, do all sorts of things, you can do that if you want to. Now we're going to take a slightly different route. We're going to head out, and this is what I was talking about my when my brain started fizzing. I looked at the map and I was like, oh, that's really cool, you know. And it's along the lines of, and I've seen over the years all sorts of, you know, air crash investigations, and you know, all sorts of films and documentaries, and you know, you hear stories about all sorts of stuff, you know, people getting stranded, the old Swiss Family Robinson sort of thing, you know, even like Castaway, you know, that type of thing. And what often happens in a situation like that, now obviously with this map you've got these roadways, these trackways. So if you washed ashore after an incident, whatever the incident might be, and you saw a roadway, the temptation would be, well, if there's a roadway, that means there are people, therefore I'll follow the roadway until I find people. What you could do if you wanted to, you could buy the plots of land, you could landscape that all out so there aren't roadways if you wanted to, because what you often hear a lot as well is in situations like this when people get washed ashore. So a beach like this, you end up washed ashore, you come out of the water and you're on a beach. Now a lot of people won't move too far away from the waterline because your potential for rescue hinges on boats coming past, whatever it might be. You might not be sure of the island size. Now some people just aren't naturally, they don't like to explore, you know, and people will fall back on that. You know what, there's some woodland here right by where I am, I can walk off the beach, I can build myself a little shelter from windfall and stuff like that. You might be able to find yourself a water source just inland a little bit. If you don't move away from your immediate area, because you might, and again, that's what I'm saying, the Highlands fishing expansion, if I've got a fishing rod and I could fashion a fishing rod in inverted commas and I could fish off the beach here, I've got a food source. I know in the game that will earn you some money, but you have, you know, and that thing of, you know, when I did it on Lucas Island, you know, you are swimming ashore, which is kind of a cool concept. I like that idea. And if you don't move too far away from the beach, like I say, as in the real world, a lot of people don't, you wouldn't necessarily know. Like I say, if you're here and you don't move far away from this beach at all, you might use a bit of woodland, you might find a water source or whatever it might be. You might not know that on the other half of the island there is potentially, you know, there might be people. It could be abandoned, but there are maybe more resources, more stuff to find. And that's the kind of storyline. In my head I was thinking, that's cool. You could spend some time before you started playing, especially if you're doing multiplayer and you're setting it up for friends, where if you purchase the various different plots of land, you could, like say, get rid of the trackway so you can't see them on the ground. You could add more, you know, thick foliage, maybe some more trees in, make it so it's harder to get from your landing point here inland. I don't know, like I say, my brain just started ticking away and I was thinking that's really, really cool. So spoiler alert, just here there's one of our 25 orbs. And off camera I did purchase all the other plots of land just to make sure there weren't any animal pastures, anything buildable. I did have a kind of fly around in landscape mode to see if there were any other buildings or anything, and I didn't find anything. But I know I'm going to say it again, I know it's repetitive, but I'm staggered at how different this is to the previous version. It's very, very cool indeed. There we go. That's Alone in the World 2K25 by Grimlock RRC. I hope you found all of this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.